Hi, thanks for clicking on this video. This is the noodle system. Today is the 3rd of September in this world that I'm in right now, and you're watching a video from September 3rd. I don't know what date it is in your world. Maybe you can comment below with your date. Maybe it doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter. I only mention all of that because it's going to take me a while to upload all of these videos, so please forgive me for how long it's taking. But I'm waking up to extreme pain in my leg, and the dogs like to interrupt. Basically, I'm waking up to this realization that I was really out of it yesterday, and I remember bits and pieces from going to the doctor, and they think I may have torn a ligament, meniscus, ACL, something. They don't know what happened. So I'm going to get an MRI, who knows when. They got to get it pre-authorized by the insurance for some reason. And meanwhile, I've got to rest and ice it and compress it and elevate it. And it hurts to elevate, like a lot. So I'm really not elevating very much at all. It hurts to rest. It hurts to stretch. It hurts to walk. It hurts to limp. It hurts to use the cane that my husband bought for me. It hurts to put on pants. It hurts to put ice on it. It hurts when the chihuahua stepped on my knee. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. It's hurting all the time. That's just all been this morning. Yesterday, I don't remember pain very much. I remember having pain when I was walking, but I rested most of the day, and so I didn't have as much pain resting. And that's probably because I was stoned, and I remember vaguely that I did some videos yesterday, but I don't know if we're going to be posting those. So, anyways, I guess we'll see what those videos said before I can make that decision. Oh, so we woke up this morning. A couple of different noodles were telling us things that were quite interesting and shocking, that we really wanted to remember them. And because it's been like several minutes since I've woken up, I'm having a hard time remembering what those things are. So we might need to go into the headspace and tap into the headspace and ask them what they were trying to say earlier, because I can't just rattle it off right now without really concentrating on them. I'm shaking really bad, aren't I? Anyway, okay, I think I remember now. I remember something about a dream. I had a dream. What was the dream? It was very vivid moments ago, but I'm having a hard time remembering much of it. Basically, and that's how dreams are, aren't they? So, I do remember that I had seen my husband at work, maybe. It was close to the end of the day. I happened to be there for some reason. Maybe I went there to talk to him. I probably went there to go talk to him. And he said, I will see you when I get home. We'll talk when I get home. And I said, okay. So I started leaving, and I assumed he was right behind me because it was towards the end of his day. I think it was maybe 10 minutes before he was supposed to be scheduled off. So I knew he was maybe 10 minutes behind me, if not directly behind me, because it sounded like he was going to be leaving right when I was leaving. Like, but in either case, 10 minutes behind me, right? So I'm arriving at our house, which in my dream is different than my actual house. It's interesting. And we're waiting, and he never shows. He never arrives. He never anything. And it got us upset, got us panicky, got us angry, got us feeling betrayed or hurt or abandoned or forgotten or ignored, like maybe all of the above, right? So there's a lot of feelings going on in this dream about him not showing up when we expected him to, especially because we had things we wanted to share or talk about, I guess, in the dream. And he knew this, so to just not show up when we assumed he would, um, it just felt like a big slap in the face sort of feeling, right? So, anyways, we get through this dream to the point where he finally shows up. And when he shows up, Red unleashes, which is something Red would do. She's a persecutor, OCD, high expectations persecutor, and like a drill sergeant, bitch, just laying into people when they've done wrong. But if you think about it, and this is what we woke up thinking about, because we were really like, we woke up in this state of anger and hurt and pain, and there was so many mixed feelings all at once, like taking all the colors and blending them into this nasty grayness of blech, like if you took all of the colors of your Skittles and you tried mixing them into one fat Skittle, it'd be nothing but a big mess of gray Skittleness, or little speckles of color throughout the grayness. But in any case, that's how we woke up feeling. And this feeling happens more often than you um, might expect. But if you're a system like us, or even if you're borderline, like I think there's something to borderline and d.i.d that's really closely related, because they're very much tied into complex PTSD. They both are, right? Where something from our childhood is really triggering us in the adult world, and we have protectors around our heart to prevent us from feeling these terrible feelings that remind us of our childhood. So these protectors look like borderline tendencies. They look like it. Whether you're borderline or not, they look like it, right? They look like outrage. They look like anger. They look like threats, or they look like self harm. I mean, that's just my understanding. A protector of the system, which is what my persecutor is. She's a protector of the real trauma that's going on behind the scenes. Behind the curtain, you don't know that I've got a 7-year-old that was betrayed when we were younger. I've got another 7-year-old that was silenced and not allowed to have her feelings. And I call them the twins because what am I saying? Betrayed. Oh, I'm getting my stuff mixed up. Anyways, it's hard for me to describe them when it's not me. It's not my It's not my story, and they really should tell their own story. I am Orange Noodle, and I am basically the one who has been hosting for just a couple of months now, and yet I don't think I'm the best one for the job. I don't think I'm the best one for the job because I have a hard time understanding all these emotions. I feel like I'm good for the job in a logical, let's get work done sense. But as I'm waking up from this dream and I'm hearing these noodles tell me about this, their feelings from this dream, because we all were in that dream in a sense, right? Um, Red was angry, but then she explained to me what she was protecting. She was protecting the littles because they felt betrayed, they felt abandoned, they felt forgotten about. That's what the twins are. Thank you. Forgotten, a forgotten twin and a betrayed twin, which made them both. It made one twin silent, mute, right? When she was betrayed, she felt so betrayed she became mute, and she hardly ever spoke up about her feelings of betrayal. Hardly ever. And if she ever did, she'd whisper them to Red, and Red would defend and protect. Whereas the one that felt forgotten and ignored, she would um, cry for attention and acted out as, well, they're not going to give me attention for my feelings. Maybe they'll give me attention if I'm sick or unwell. And so she was the hypochondriac. She was the one with stomach aches all the time, or headaches, or now she's got strep throat all the time, or oh, look at that, she slipped and fell, and now she's using crutches, and now she's going to the doctors, and now she's getting all the love and attention from husband that we need. Basically, we recognize when that's cyan noodle. She's the blue. We call her blue sometimes, but there's two blues, so we have to differentiate. We've got cyan blue and we got indigo blue, but cyan blue is the one that needed the love and attention as a child that she didn't get. She was very much neglected, forgotten about, and ignored. And the only way she learned how to get attention was to be sickly, and needing care. And that's typical in a lot of children, right? And you would think that a child would grow out of that phase, but no, not us. We seem to have it every once in a while. We seem to have Cyan around that wants to overtly display something that's going on with her because she's obviously feeling forgotten and ignored. So, anyways, we come to this like, wow, this is amazing stuff here, and we start to go to um, grab our cane and hobble to the bathroom to have husband, um, I don't know, hello, how are you, stuff like that. We expected him to do and say and stuff, right? And as soon as we saw him, Mint Noodle, do you know who Mint Noodle is? Mint Noodle is Mint Noodle is the betrayed one. Mint Noodle, I don't think we said that. Mint Noodle is the other 7-year old betrayed one that age slides because she's growing up and she's learning how to talk, which is awesome. But I don't know if she age slides. She might if when traumas hit. What we're trying to explain is she was very much influencing us, me as a host, as I hobbled into the master bedroom so I could use the master bathroom. My husband, our husband, we're just gonna call him husband. Husband looks at us and says, laughs at us, laughs at us as soon as we walk in, because he could hear how slowly we were taking through the hallway to get in the door. And the way he was laughing did not feel loving. It did not feel supportive. It did not feel helpful at all. It actually felt more like, it felt like a twinge of being bullied. So we've got Mint influencing, wanting to speak our truth to husband about this dream we had. That's what she was wanting to do. We didn't say that, but that's what she was wanting to do. So that was our intention as we're making our way to the master bedroom. And as we opened the door, Mint Noodle was there. Okay. But as soon as the laughing hit, Maroon was there. Maroon was there, the one that is easily triggered by rejection, by laughter, by you're not laughing with me, you're laughing at me. That doesn't feel good. That stings. You're rude. If you could hear us hobbling down the hallway, how come you didn't open the door at least, or help us, or ask us if we needed help, or something? But no, instead of him like getting up and helping, he laughs at us as we walk in the door. So that's Marooned Noodle's reaction. She's explaining her story to me right now, and I'm rolling my eyes because obviously that's a little overreacting, Maroon. Not to be rude, but it is, right? It is a little overreacting that we expect him to, what, cater to us, right? We're hobbling down the hallway. We weren't asking for help. We weren't screaming for help. So it wasn't like he was flat out rejecting us. We didn't ask for anything. But to walk in the room, yes, it did hurt. I could see why she's upset, because it did hurt her to be laughed at. And it felt like rejection. So we've got betrayed wanting to speak her truth. We've got Maroon feeling rejected. We've got Cyan feeling forgotten and ignored, right? Because of the dream. And she's still really twinged and stung by that. Then feel forgotten and ignored a second time when we're walking into the room. Okay, so we've got all three of them really, really highly influencing me, the system host. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is intense. So we say one thing, we say something like, remind me to tell you what's going on, is what I told him. Because I don't want to forget when we come out of the bathroom where we needed to use the restroom. So we go into the restroom. Oh my gosh, that was painful just to sit down. And oh, it's just painful to sit up and painful to button up the pants and painful to hobble. Oh, that's right. That's what happened next. Okay, so thank you. Painful, painful, painful. We're trying to wash our hands. We're trying to get to a towel. And as soon as the toilet flushes and he could hear us washing our hands, husband comes into the bathroom and he starts to turn on the shower. And so as he's going towards the shower, and we are in his way with the cane and our hobbleness and everything, so we carefully try to position ourselves where we're not in his way as painlessly as possible. And we reach over and we grab the towel hanging off the side of the shower and we wipe our hands from the wetness of our hands. And then we take a step back in our hobbleness, wobbliness, and he gives us the evilest stare, like, how dare you? And we're like, what? And all of us noodles are searching, like, what's he upset about? What's he upset about? What's he upset about? And he says, you had to wipe your hands on my towel. And then you've got all the noodles all upset. All the noodles want to say something like, oh, We're struggling just to move around this restroom. That's the closest towel we could reach. Maybe we are stupid for using his towel to wipe our hands, and we're yelling at each other, and we're angry at each other for using his towel, and yet we're also angry at him for even being upset with us. And we got lime noodle, and we've got everybody in the headspace just feeling awful, 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 awful. So you could already see how waking up from a dream like that, my hand fell asleep, that which reminded me about the shirt I bought. I bought this shirt in honor of all my noodles. Even though all my noodles are not represented on this shirt, I think it's really cool. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm going to do this for a second because my hand is asleep from holding the phone. Okay, so we are... Does that bother you? Because it kind of bothers me. It's really loud and distracting. Okay, we'll do it over here then. But it really hurts. Oh my gosh, stop it. Okay, so... What? What are we saying? Oh, so you can imagine how we're feeling right after the dream. We're trying to process things. We're trying to allow things. We're trying to heal from things. We're trying to just let things exist. The art of allowing, right? We're trying to be all good and everything. And then we get into the bedroom, feeling laughed at. Okay, all those feelings. Then we hobble to the bathroom, asking him to talk to us about colors in a second because we don't want to forget, and we want to feel honored, and we want to feel valid, and we want to communicate our truth, and we want to share with him what's coming up for us because we're not quite done with all these emotions, right? But we just need to use the restroom. But hobbling around the restroom for several minutes and then to use his towel and get the evilest stare. Oh my gosh, that's so traumatizing to get a look like that when you're already upset, right? And you're trying to work on emotions and whatnot. And yet we also got noodles that feel like we're overreacting with that too. So yeah, it's a really troubling thing. How do you process this? So we got some noodles that wanted to yell at him. We got some noodles that wanted to cry, wanted to manipulate, wanted to shame him and ridicule him and defend and persecute him. We wanted to do all kinds of things. We were all over it in the headspace, and we couldn't make up our mind how we were going to approach this. And so me as Orange Noodle, probably the best, again, to host. Really, I am, because I am not all attached to these emotions. So that's where I kind of have this, we're not going there with it approach. I don't want to not honor the emotions. I definitely want these noodles to feel like they have a place to heal and express themselves, but we aren't going to practice poor behavior. That's just why I'm hosting. That's why I'm hosting. Sorry, guys. So I forced the body, regardless of what they wanted me to do, kind of like Uber passengers telling the Uber driver to drive off a cliff. Are we going to drive off a cliff just because our passengers told us to? No, we're not. I'm a sensible Uber driver. I will not drive my passengers off a cliff. So I'm going to... I think that's a great analogy. Anyways, we get to on the road, and me as the Uber driver takes the body and all the noodles in the body to this bed, and we lay down and we just process some things. We process feelings about betrayal. We process feelings about being forgotten, because that could be the same thing, but betrayal, like being lied to, and neglected and abused, forgotten is that other one. We process feelings about control. We've processed feelings um, about being rejected and laughed at. We were processing, and we didn't do it like forcefully. We were just doing it naturally. And how we do it naturally, in case you're curious and wondering what we're doing, and I don't even know if what we're doing is right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in this at all. What I'm saying is what we did to practice our or process, I should say, what we did to process our healing was to write. That seems to be our number one thing. And what we did was we naturally wrote what was coming up for us. And because of the carpal tunnel stuff, we don't always physically write anymore. We've been doing more writing lately than ever before, but we've been doing a lot of digital journaling. So I don't know if this is the point in the video where I'm editing and I'm putting examples of what we were typing and writing, and maybe you want to go back and pause and read what we processed and what we were coming up with and what we were journaling about. Maybe that'd be a good idea. Not like it's required, but it might be helpful. I don't know. It'd be helpful for me to go back and read it, probably. Me as Orange Noodle or me as any other noodle. But anyway, yeah. So we come back in the bedroom and we recognize, after even processing a lot of that, we're not done. I mean, healing is a never done journey. It's just you're getting better and better at not behaving in ways that you don't want to behave and calming that noodle down that's coming up, right? Not dismissing it, but calming it down, loving it, processing things in a calm way, not in a rageful way. I hope I'm making sense. I really do. Anyways, we recognize one of the biggest things that came up for us is when husband came to say goodbye so he could go to work. He didn't ask us about the colors whatsoever, which still kind of hurt because we felt forgotten again, right? It still kind of hurt because we felt, what's the feeling? Neglected, ignored, not cared for, not loved, rejected. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm done. No more emotions. We'll talk about it later. I gotta wrap up this video. Anyways, this was a really long one because I feel like it's important to recognize that there's a lot of stuff coming up for us, and what has really been helpful is breaking down the amnesia walls so that I can hear things better, so we can all hear each other better. And I think prior to being aware of the noodles, we were video journaling quite a bit. We had made over 1,000 videos in 6 years. Video journals, seriously. If there's 365 days in a year and you video journal every single day, you would get to 1,000 videos sometime in the third year, right? But we weren't video journaling every day. We were video journaling when things came up, when stuff would happen. We would video journal our feelings, not knowing we were a system. If we would have known we were a system, that may have sped up the process, honestly, because we would have accepted it and tapped into it better. But what we were doing, what Crystal was doing, Crystal, the unaware host person, right? Every time something came up for Crystal, she processed it, and she was talking about it, and she was video journaling, and she was. And I'd have to say that was the yellow noodle. Because she was fighting against the Kathy persona that everybody wanted her to be, that she wanted to be, and the further and further Kathy kept pulling away, and everybody was wanting Kathy. Everybody was wanting Kathy to go because Kathy was trying to protect us, but at the same time she wasn't helping things. So what we're saying is Crystal, Yellow Noodle, basically before Yellow Noodle came to terms with being a yellow noodle, being the noodle on top of all the other shades of noodles, colors of noodles, right? Crystal would talk to herself about any type of issue that was coming up. And when we would play back the videos later and watch them, we were totally flabbergasted to learn that we felt that way, or that we made that video, or that that came up. The amnesia was so shocking to see. It was so shocking, and we still didn't have much memory of making that video. Even after watching it, nothing jogged the memory as much, except jogging those emotions to come up. And when those emotions came up, they didn't come up in the same way as before, so it was definitely emotional amnesia. But then the more often we kept continuing to talk, the more we kept tapping into the other side, and the other side kept tapping into us, and it was like this mixture. So we definitely recommend video journaling, because if the video journaling could help anybody, it helped us. It helped us extremely. And I think that's why we're able to hear and aware a lot of it, a lot of our noodles, whereas a lot of people have these dissociative states where they don't remember everything, where we have dissociative states and can download pockets of memories and have communication slightly between us, slightly. It's like a telephone game where it might get lost in translation a little bit, or a couple of noodles knows about another couple of noodles. But yeah, it's a very difficult thing to explain, and you really only understand it if you've gone through it. But maybe I'm explaining it in a different way that might help someone else, or maybe even if people are trying to do their own research and trying to figure out their own stuff, for someone else, or for the medical community or whatever, right? I think it does help to know that we were a system that didn't know we were a system when we were video journaling to each other. And we think that helped bring down the amnesia walls, so that it made us aware of each other and aware of what's coming up for us. So we do feel like we are 1,000 light years ahead of a lot of other systems out there because of this journal video work that we did. Yeah, and none of them are brave enough to share those video journals just yet. They're out there on YouTube somewhere, but our channel is so hidden and so not obvious to anyone that I'd be surprised if anybody found it. But what we're saying is, it gave us an outlet to talk about things, and it gave us a place to feel safe and not rejected for our truth. And it gave us the illusion that people were accepting us because we didn't get hate comments. we didn't get views either, but we didn't get hate comments. So we didn't feel rejected. We felt accepted for our truth. Anyways, I gotta let you go. My video camera's saying I've recorded too much, so I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.